Hello everybody, and thank you for joining me at The Lonely Vine. So you'll notice the background is not my fireplace, which you normally have to look at when you're watching one of my shows. I am on location this week. I am at Vintages Wine and Spirits in downtown Colorado Springs, and I'm joined here by the owner of Vintages, Erin Collins. How you doing, Erin?
Hey, doing great. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate getting to talk about wine today.
Absolutely. So we're going to taste some Pinot today from the looks of it, so I'm pretty excited about that. But Erin, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, about your shop? How did you get into wine?
So, we kind of did it backwards. Usually people have a passion about wine and then they buy a store, start a store. We bought a store, and then I became passionate about wine. I was traveling a large area, and my husband was interested in the store, and he said, well, you'd have to run it if we buy it. So about a week after we got married, we bought a store.
So
yep.
Just jump right in, right? You're jumping into everything else. You may as well jump into a wine store.
And it's been fun. I didn't realize it was my passion when I did it, but of course, who's not passionate about wine?
Right.
So
right. I guess it is a good thing that you ended up being passionate about wine.
There's probably worse things to be passionate about.
So. Now, Erin is also a certified sommelier through the Court of Sommeliers, Court of Master Sommeliers. I've gone through level 1. That's like the weekend course. But so, is there anything that you can tell folks out there that maybe be trying for the certified sommelier, tips that they should focus on?
A friend of mine recently took it, and I told her, study lots of French, study all the fifth grows, first through fifth grows, know exactly what region they're in, and that was what was my lacking in knowledge. She did not pass her certified level, even though she's worked in a restaurant for years, because she found all the other stuff more difficult. So really, you got to know it all, unfortunately. You don't have to have as much detail as the third level, but you just need to know all of it.
Cover all the bases.
All
the bases.
Beyond just the basics of level 1, get that much more geekier, know all the regions in all the areas of the world.
Okay. Well, that's good stuff to know. And practice your blind tastings, which is the hardest part to do, right?
That's the best part.
Okay, so we don't want to go too long, so we're going to keep it a little bit short. And I think everybody here really doesn't care what we're talking about, and they just want to get into tasting some of this wine. So why don't you give us a little bit heads up on what we're doing here? I can hold it up if you want to.
I thought
is this the first one we're doing?
Yep. Okay. I thought it'd be fun today to research by tasting 3 different Pinot Noir regions of the world. So we're starting in Burgundy. Okay. Burgundy, I've priced them all between, we're tasting all wines priced between $20 and $30. And, kind of our conclusion we're starting with, even before we get to these other 2, are that you really need to buy up when you're in Burgundy, because it's an isolated part of the world, so they can command the prices that, perhaps they want. Plus, our dollar is, of course, weaker in France.
So obviously, then you think that you can probably get a little bit more value out of the domestic Pinots.
Currently, part of it, I'm sure, is $1, but also, as you look, let me pour. This is the first wine. This is the Givry.
Yep, so this is the Givry, the Clos Saint-Pierre Premier Cru, Domaine Thenard, it looks like, 2007.
In the Côte de Beaune region of Burgundy, which is north, and you can tell by the color. So maybe you can't. Hold on, let's put a...
It's difficult. I try to show it all it doesn't come through well.
Well, maybe we spilled some on the computer. All right, see ya.
Well, we'll see if the computer still works when we're done with it.
Oh,
what's a laptop without some wine on it?
That's right. Now we've authenticated this laptop. If you could tell from the over-swirling that I just did, this is kind of, you can look right through this wine, and it's more of a... Boy, it's not garnet. It's like what would that color be? It's
almost bricky. You think?
Not brick.
Maybe I need a little bit more. I don't think I have quite enough.
Well, that's because I probably over-swirled on top of your laptop. There we go.
There we go. Okay.
So the color just is really indicative of how
Yeah, it's
How
really
much
translucent.
lighter,
You know, you
right.
can definitely tell you're looking at a thin skinned grape here. You know, obviously with the Pinot, and really gets light on the edge. You know, it gets to almost that salmon kind of color as you would go out. When I first looked at this, I wondered if there was some age to it.
Which there is for, I mean, not as much as others, but since we're talking about a lesser region of Burgundy, it's not an amazing vintage. It's kind of a lesser vintage, not a big, powerful vintage.
Yeah, 2007 wasn't the most banner of years.
So that's probably speaks to it, but anytime I've had a Burgundy, it really goes more to this kind of brickier color versus ruby or garnet color that you see in domestic Pinots. And as you taste it on the palate, the flavors kind of go that direction to more earth and leather and dried spices versus when you taste, let's taste something else so we can compare it.
I haven't even tasted this one yet.
All right, taste that one.
So like on the nose, you know, I do get that, you know, the first thing I think of when I smell this is that this is going to be a European wine, you know, because it's more, there's that earthiness to it, there's more minerality
Don't make
to
that
it.
face when you say that. Just kidding.
You know, it's not a big fruit forward thing, which is something that I like. But yeah, let's go ahead and taste it. You've already tasted it, I see.
A number of times. But the deal is, that's a great thing to describe Old World. You know, when you think New World, the first descriptors that come to mind are really fruit, red fruit, cherry, strawberry. When you talk Old World, usually other secondaries come to mind first. It's harder to dig those fruit flavors out usually. Maybe a light hint of cherry, but then a
little bit,
dry
you know, and you know, there's some leather in there.
And
you know, all the things that you expect. And then on the palate, you know, I hate to say it, but it is a little light. You know, more than you would expect. It's a little flat. It's a little watery. You know, sorry. Hate to say that, but
I think if we had taken a different vintage, perhaps 2008, and did a wine that was maybe $50, we'd have a different result. But
absolutely.
Since we're looking at this $20 to $30 price range, in fairness, you know, our dollar's weaker and the wines can command what they want. So I think on the high end you can get a Burgundy that's in the $1,000 range.
1,500.
1,500.
Yep.
All right, next time
And that
we'll
one
open that. Okay,
yeah, we'll
that's
open
on
that
your budget.
one, and that one we won't.
We
I
won't
won't
talk
spit
about
that one out.
Yeah, right. No spitting.
Okay, so what's the next one we're going here? Solina.
So I always find Oregon to be, you know, a little baby step in Burgundy in that you get kind of the earthier qualities that you get in Burgundy, but you still get a lot of fruit.
Okay.
When I blind taste, Oregon is obvious to me because it's not just fruit.
Okay.
You know, you get some of those secondaries again. Color is really pretty. This
Okay.
is 2010. So brand new baby.
So 2010?
2010.
Yep, okay.
Solana. It's Willamette Valley Pinot Noir.
Yeah, and you know, this is one of the things I really don't like about the blog is I can't show you the colors because it's the color difference between these two is drastic. You know, even though this one is still thin, you know, and you can still make your fingers out through it. There's really no color retention when you swirl the glass. But this is a much deeper, much prettier, really, in color.
Garnet,
you know,
I would say.
It's more garnet. It just, you know, it just looks better. Wow.
You know, Willamette had kind of a shaky start. In the 80s, they were making wine that was kind of closer to this Givry in that it was a little watery and thin, and they were really susceptible to vintage variation. And we've seen some amazing vintages come out since then. Out of Willamette Valley, they're really more about some superb wines that command some superb prices. You can find much better values now in California than Oregon. So it is kind of a step in between.
Yeah, and you know, like we were saying, right off the bat, you know, you get a lot more fruit coming off in this one.
Right.
In the nose.
But then still a little bit of that.
There's still a little bit of earth there,
and
but you know, I sense, like right away, I get like cranberry, raspberry. I get those red fruits, but it's just it smells a lot more alive than the first one did as well, to my limited palate. nose, whatever.
But still good acidity. It's not flabby, and you don't get those characteristics. Sometimes when you talk of some less expensive California wines, they add Syrah to add some depth to the wine. Pinot Noir is not an inexpensive grape to grow, and they're pricing them cheaply, so they're adding Syrah.
Right.
And I don't, of course, get any of that on this wine, even though the color is beautiful. It's really true Pinot Noir.
Yep.
It tastes like Pinot, acts like Pinot.
Yep. Very good. This is good finish.
Very
good finish.
Length, nice length on the finish.
Whereas the first one, it really, you got something right away and then it just disappeared. It was hollow in the middle and there was really no taste. It was like you were drinking a little bit of glass of water with a little spray of something in it. This has a lot more to it.
Poor Burgundy.
Well, and you know, it's one bottle, you know.
So when I first started exploring Oregon wine, I went up to Oregon, and I always got this little kind of nut, kind of hazelnut quality, and that's, in my mind, it's probably not, you know, a quality that other people would discover. But I was at a vineyard.
Really?
I was looking out, and I said, this wine, we're tasting one block. It was at not Elk Cove. It was at doesn't matter. But one block, I said, man, I get a little kind of pine on this, and they go, that block is way over there, and there's these enormous pine trees behind it. And then the next block was a Vadensville clone.
All right, we're gonna have to take a little break, but we'll be right back.
I
haven't poured it. I poured it. Okay, so we're back. We had some customers. Erin had some customers come in, so we'll see how well I can edit that back together.
They were jealous, by the way.
Yes, they were. They were wanting to get in on some of this action. All right, so that's 2. And what do we have for our third
So
one?
now we're taking a trip to California, and probably the most famous area for Pinot Noir in California is the Russian River Valley, which is outside of the town of Healdsburg. Very cool climate. This Russian River Valley is a limited wine. They're not, they're going to all estate fruit, so we won't see it too much longer. Have it for a bit though. And Russian River, I think, you know, commands some of the highest prices for Pinot Noir in California. And anyway.
So now, is this the one that nobody here will understand? But is this the Thanksgiving special?
Yes.
Okay.
So you've had it.
I've had this one. Yes.
Did you know by the nose? You just knew right there.
Yeah. Yes, that's it. Or I looked at the label and it's like, hey, I recognize that.
So it's, you know, you get that earthy quality.
We did these in the right order.
But this is bigger. And while they say it's cool climate, I don't think it's as cool climate as the other two.
There's a lot more going on in this one on the nose. I mean, and this is something, you know, if you're looking to learn, especially about the world of wine, this is a great way to do a tasting, is to go ahead and take, you know, especially if you can do the same year, horizontal tasting, you get, you know, a Burgundy, you know, just what we did, same year, and look at the difference between them, and you'll be amazed. You know, if you think, oh, I'm a big cab fan, well, you know, grab cabs from around the world and give them a try, and you'll be amazed at how different they are, and that really can open you up to what the world of wine can offer.
As I taste this one, the nose almost is similar to the Solana, a little more fruit forward, but the finish is much bigger.
And there's more depth to the nose on this one, to me, I think. And
there's like a creamy kind of toasty thing on the finish, which speaks to the oak regiment more than the grapes, I'm sure. And you can tell it's hot climate or warmer climate too, because there's a little more stewed quality in it, even though, you know, I think it's
I don't even think it's a little bit. I think it's a lot. I don't remember any stewed quality in the second one.
The acid isn't quite as bright and
but this
fresh.
one has a lot more of that stewed fruit quality to it, which, you know, I'm a Grenache fan, so I like that stewed quality.
So are we going to vote for our favorites? Was it number 1?
It was not number 1.
Was it number 1? No?
I would put it...
Number 2?
I would go in the reverse order of what we served them.
Really?
Yeah. That would be my favorite right here.
All right. This one's my favorite because I like the bright acidity on this one better. I think it'd be better with food, to be quite honest.
I would agree with that.
But I think this would be good with chocolate.
Mm-hmm. This one here?
The one in our glass, the Russian Hill.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I definitely would agree.
So, touche.
Touche.
Thank you.
Thank you. So there you have it, folks. I just want to thank Erin for letting me come down here. She skittled off the screen, I see. Thank you for coming down and tasting a few wines in her store. And I'll see if I can get these edited together. And I would love to hear from you guys. Do you have any questions for Erin? I stay in contact with her so I can get questions to her. If you're in the Colorado Springs area, definitely come down to check Vintages out. It's at 9 South Tejon Street. And they always have great wines. This is my favorite place to come in Colorado Springs to get wine. So until next time, thank you for joining us, and cheers.